Hello, welcome to my first YouTube video. My name is Anel, and I am somebody who has overcome a lot of challenges with confidence and with self esteem. And I really want to share my story here on YouTube to hopefully inspire you. So, first things first, I really want to be honest and transparent with you guys. I am not editing this video. I am doing that on purpose so that I can really show you guys that you don't need to edit your videos or be perfect in order to share your story and really have an impact on the world. So I will start off with the question. You're probably wondering, what the hell? With the title that I just put. So, my question for you, and by the way, I have notes here because I am a little nervous and I don't want to lose track of where I'm at. So, my question for you is, have you ever been disliked? And how do you feel afterwards? How do you feel during, after? Do you turn on yourself? What happens? So, I know that when I feel like somebody doesn't like me, or maybe I'm just perceiving it, maybe I'm just imagining it, I feel smaller. First off, I feel kind of angry, not gonna lie. And second of all, I start to feel smaller. I start to feel like I don't want to talk as much around them. I don't want to laugh much around them. I don't want to smile much around them or say much around them. And I could literally feel my body contracting and I just want to avoid. Has that happened to you? Maybe you have a different reaction, but I know that my pattern is to get small. And I really want to share about a moment that actually surprised me because I had the opposite reaction. So, this actually happened in a retreat that I was at last weekend with my coach, with one of my coaches, Dr. Aziz Gazipura, and his wife, Candace Gazipura, which they're amazing, amazing coaches. I've been working with Aziz for almost 7 years in his mastermind. And, there's a bigger group there as well. But I've also been in his world a little bit longer since 2013 because I just had really bad social anxiety and I just wanted to do something about it. So I will link his YouTube and his other work down below. But to get into it, so we had a retreat this weekend in Portland, and we actually got into groups of threes or fours. So it was four of us. And the exercise was for us to share for 5 minutes something that we don't want the other person to know. And, you know, each person was going. And there was one guy in particular who I could just tell that we just don't vibe. And it's okay. It's okay. But once it got to him, he was sharing certain things that he didn't want us to know. And then he looks at me and immediately I knew something was going to come out. And he basically said that I seem very performative and that irritated him and that my voice irritated him. And, in that moment, I felt electricity all over my body. I felt like my heart was racing. I felt a little sweaty, but I let him talk. It was his turn to talk. And oddly enough, I didn't feel defensive, which I normally do. So that was very different. I'm usually at any sign of people disliking me, or like if they truly dislike me and they tell me, then I feel defensive around them. I have this like wall up, and I didn't in that moment, which was very surprising. So when he was done sharing, I let him know that I could tell and that it didn't really change my perception of him. He had been showing up since even like another retreat that we were at the year before, just showing up in ways that I thought were cool. I thought that he was really showing up in ways that were very bold. And, that's just something that I kept in mind. And so when I actually told him that I could tell, I told him that it didn't change my perception of him and that I still really admired and appreciated the way he showed up, which was also very different for me because whenever I feel like somebody doesn't like me, I am instantly like, well, fuck you then. And I can't see their strengths. I can't see their good qualities because I'm so angry. And so, after that, we went to lunch and it's a bigger group. It's about 20 plus people. And I went into my own group and I just went to go have lunch. And I was still thinking about this. And I could feel this pattern coming up of like, get small. It's like a voice was telling me, get small. It was also like just a feeling, just get smaller. Don't laugh as much. Don't share that much. Don't talk that much because you're going to irritate people. And I just kept observing that. And I wasn't really trying to change it either. I was just watching it. And I gave that part compassion. What I told that part of me was, oh, honey, like I could tell. I could really tell that you want to play small. Yeah, that was a shock to your system. But there was still no wanting to change it. And then there was another voice that came up that said, fuck that. And immediately when I heard that, I felt my energy get bigger. And I felt like my body language even changed. I felt like I could be more upright. I could feel like I could just take up space. I felt like I wanted to talk more, to laugh more, to just be more me. And I just felt so freaking empowered. So freaking empowered because I was like, whoa, it just took one little voice telling me, we're not doing that shit. And later, we went to the park, us as a group with my coach and his wife, and we were playing a really fun game, rock paper scissors. So where basically the winners play the winners, and basically it got to the point where it was only me and him. We were just the only two winners, and I was like, wow, this is very interesting how this played out. And we're like, all right, let's go. And the people that basically lost are behind each person, and they're like rooting for whoever, right? They're like, oh my god, yes, go, blah blah blah. And like the energy is so freaking big, and we're in the park, and I'm like, oh my god, what is happening? And it just felt really exciting. And there I am, I'm like, rock paper scissors. And this guy, the one that told me that he was irritated by me, he basically was just like shouting, and that's part of the game. And he won the first round, so it's out of 3. And by the first one, I think he was so thrilled that he beat me that he called me a bitch. and and I still didn't take it personal. I just was almost a little bit amused at how much rage he was feeling, and I was like, whoa, someone is raging. But I didn't take it personal. I almost saw it as somebody that was hurting. And yeah, I just saw it as somebody that was hurting. And later, we kind of broke up into our own groups. We were going to be doing our social experiments. And these social experiments had to do with us getting out of our comfort zone. Our coach and his wife, and somebody that he works with as well, they actually made cards with dares. And it was just very exciting. And we broke up and into our own groups. And I was just very excited by what we had done during the exercises, because we actually got a couple people to do some of these social experiments, people that we didn't even know. And I just felt really excited to share this when we got back into the room where the retreat was at. And so we did all of that, and we were walking back to the room. We actually got into the room, and everybody got into a circle, and they each had their own chair, and I didn't have a chair, which is okay. So I kind of sat in the back, and I was just very excited to share what we had done with the social experiments, because I just felt very, very exciting to get strangers to do some of the social experiments. And here comes the voice of don't share. Here comes the voice of play small, don't talk, because you're going to annoy people. You're going to irritate this person. You're going to irritate other people. And I just kind of heard it, and I was like, interesting. There it is again. I thought I had overcome that voice. And here comes the other voice that is very empowering that said, fuck that. And I raised my hand. And my coach was calling on other people, because other people were sharing as well. And I did not give up. He would call on the next person. I would raise my hand still. And he ended up calling on me, and I shared. And it just felt very exciting to be able to share. But not just that, it also felt very exciting to basically overcome that voice that said play small and don't share and stay quiet because you're going to irritate people. And later, there was a point where somebody that was sitting next to that guy had to leave. And immediately, I'm like, I'm going to sit next to that person. And as soon as that person left, I said goodbye to that person. And I sat right next to that guy that told me he didn't like me. And I just could feel my energy expand and just say, fuck that. I am not playing small. I'm not playing small. And it didn't feel defensive. It felt like just in my power. And it felt really cool to experience. And, later on, as time went by, the retreat was done. It was a very long day and a lot of sharing authentically and connecting with people. And I was pretty tired. I was excited and also very tired. These retreats are amazing, and also if you're not used to sharing that much authentically, sometimes you can feel a little bit like, oh fuck, that was a lot. It's good and it's a lot. But I keep coming back. So I went to my Airbnb, and I felt so invigorated. I felt super invigorated by this like different reaction that I had. And I almost couldn't go to sleep. It's like I had caffeine. I was very excited. And then later, well, actually, in the morning, I woke up with so much anxiety. And that was actually day 3 of the retreat. I had to, pack all my things, and I was in the room with other people as well. And I actually told them that I might need to walk alone because I felt like I really needed solo time. But by that point in the morning, I was feeling a lot of anxiety. It was really heavy, and I I don't know, I just felt really anxious. It was very opposite of what I felt the day before. And so as I was walking, I was like breathing. I was like breathing actually very heavy because I was just feeling a lot of anxiety. I was sweating a lot. I was kind of feeling like I didn't want to go back to the retreat, not because it wasn't good, but because I was just feeling a lot. But I decided to show up. I decided to show up, and I knew that, and I was late, by the way. I think I just took forever. I think I was stalling at some point in the morning and just didn't really prepare myself too well. So I was already late, and I was like, oh my God, did I miss the point where they already shared? Because I really wanted to share this. And, I got there and somebody else was sharing. Actually, my coach's wife shared something very vulnerable, and she really set the stage for like a deep authenticity and deep sharing of what's actually happening in the moment, and also just happening just in general. And I was sitting in the circle, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to share, and I don't feel like it. There was like a thrashing in me. There was like I don't want to share. I feel very vulnerable. I just want to leave this room. And I just really thought, like, what if this could help somebody else? And not just that, what if I could also show myself that I can share even if it's uncomfortable? And I raised my hand, and here comes the regret. I'm like, oh shit, everybody's looking at me because, my coach called on me to share. And immediately I just felt so exposed. I just felt raw from the all the sharing that had happened on the weekend. I know for a fact I had something that's called a vulnerability hangover, where basically it's a little bit of a hangover feeling after sharing a lot pretty authentically, and or sharing a lot pretty authentically. So people experience this in different ways. I know I experience it as wanting to hide and not really wanting to share, wanting to play smaller, just feeling like, oh, like I don't really have much capacity to continue connecting on a deep, authentic way. Like I just really wanted a lot of solo time. But I also didn't want to miss out on the event. These are so precious. And so when I raised my hand and we're all in a circle, I immediately named that I just felt really vulnerable and I started crying actually. And I shared that I just felt really raw and I felt even more vulnerable seeing other people look at me. And and I also shared that I was very opposite of what I had felt the day before. And then I shared exactly what happened. And I actually didn't name the person on purpose. I just don't think I didn't think that was important. And because I think what was important was sharing the pattern change. But this person was brave enough to raise their hand, and kudos to them. So the group basically knew who it was, and I basically just told him that thank you, that he actually gave me a gift, and that was basically it. And so, um, I don't know. I just, even though I was feeling very vulnerable at that time, I just felt like something was transforming in me. I didn't think that this was possible, that somebody disliked me and that I would feel not defensive, that I would still appreciate how they showed up, that I don't turn on myself because I've turned on myself before, that I shared it because I'm like, oh damn, like I had the thought, what if I share this with a group and now more people don't like me or they're looking out for certain things to dislike me for, and it just felt very, I felt very exposed. But at the end of the day, I think I really saw this as, him sharing that information with me. It just really felt like neutral information. That's all it felt like. I really owe that to my coach, Kat Kozad. She has really shared that perspective, but with other things in life, which just in that moment, it just clicked. And I was like, oh my God, that could really be a reaction. And that's okay. And so I wrote down a few questions for you guys. So I hope that this has helped you, by the way. I would love to hear more about you guys and what you guys think. Does this resonate with you? Do you have similar stories like this? Have you ever been disliked and it didn't really affect you? Or maybe it did, but then something really shifted in you. And I really would love to know about that. So, some of the questions that I have for you are, where are you contracting or playing small? And this doesn't have to be around people, it could also be around situations, because I know that I have contracted around certain situations and I feel like I have no power. But I do. And you do too. And what would it look like if you said, fuck that, to that contracting feeling or that voice that's trying to keep you small and not share or not put yourself out there in whatever capacity? Maybe it's in dating, maybe it's you're wanting to do a YouTube video. I had to say fuck that to this because I felt super nervous and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna put this out into the world and people are gonna judge me. Um, and they will, and that's okay. But I also feel very inspired by helping people. So that definitely outweighs the negative comments. And also, where could you see someone's dislike as a gift? Or maybe as they're hurting or they're in some sort of fear, because that's also happened. Like I know that I've also disliked certain people because of my own fears, because I felt less than. And people have different reasons for disliking people. I'm not saying that this person should like me because they don't need to, they don't have to in order for me to feel okay. I just I just wonder, if we could start seeing that dislike just from a very different perspective. Like maybe it's that, maybe it's you can see that maybe they're hurting, maybe you can see that they're in fear, maybe you triggered something in them and they just don't like that and now they associate that trigger with you. I don't fucking know. But how can you not let that in? And also, where could you share more vulnerably without needing to be maybe in a positive mood first? See, I can't even talk. So, where could you share more vulnerably without needing to be like in a positive mood? I know a lot of times I really want to share when I feel like I'm in an open, positive mood. But really, it's so empowering when you actually share what's actually happening in you. Like, people don't want perfection, they want real. That's what makes people feel connected to you. And could you be a little bit more open with your friends, with your family, with people that really care about you, and without making that wrong? I know I have felt the most connected to people when they share what's really happening in them, if especially when it's really difficult. And I can just be with them, listening to them and really relate to them like, "Oh my god, that's happened to me too." Like now I don't feel as alone. I hope that helped you. And please share in the comments below what has resonated with you. If you want to answer some of these questions, or maybe something totally different resonated with you about anything that I said in this video, and I would love to hear from you. Hello, my name is Anel. I am somebody who, oh fuck. Hello, welcome to my first YouTube video. Oh, somebody who has overcome a lot of challenges with, oh God. Hello, welcome to my first YouTube channel.